Let's try again. Just ask everybody.
Are we on?
Yeah.
Okay.
If they can hear us right now. Let's just wait for anybody who'll jump in. Just ask them about it. What? Nobody
Okay.
open it for you? Want to open this for you? Yeah, John?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. Okay.
What
Oh,
audio are we using?
Bula. Can hear you now?
Can
Okay.
you hear us now?
Yeah. That's right.
Okay, great. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for coming back. We're trying to go live because this might be a good discussion to get on Facebook. If Facebook works. Man, you know, like sometimes it just doesn't go your way, eh? Just doesn't go your way. And here we are just trying to have a nice discussion with everybody. And it just doesn't go our way. But now we're live. And now we're live on Facebook as well. And here we are crooked. Okay, everybody. Sorry, Tui is right now helping my son peel an orange because we are live. So we were talking about tells, and we were talking about yeah, Ryan, you kind of took the words out of my mouth. We are live right now. YouTube, Facebook is below you. Facebook people, YouTube are above you. Okay. So we're just going to break down. I want to have a discussion with everybody about the tells forgiveness that just happened. The $650 million that was given out by the government to pay off tells, and I know there are a lot of happy, very, very happy people out there who had the tells forgiven. Tells, I think, was tertiary education uh, loan scheme, I think is what it stood for. So like secondary education. Good afternoon, Antoinette. What's up, Junior Felix? CLC? Yeah, sorry, I can't see your name properly. But yeah, so we're talking about the tell stuff. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Should the government have paid it off? Shouldn't they have? I've kind of finished. We had some technical issues before. What I was saying on the last part was, when you guys can hear me on YouTube, was the Biden administration in the States kind of ran on this when they were like trying to get voted in, was that they were going to forgive all the student loans. Now, when Trump had been in power, he had frozen the student loan payments because of COVID. And they were extended a few times. I think it was extended, the forgiveness was extended. Hi, Rakesh from Sacramento. How you doing? Bula from Singapore. What's up, bro? What's up? Thanks for joining, everybody. Got my fresh fade right now. Got my fresh fade going on. What do you guys think? Burn me in the comments. And so what Biden kind of ran on, like him or not, was one of the things they ran on was that he was going to forgive the student loans. What happened, I think, in the past week or two, was that it wasn't allowed to happen because it was basically unconstitutional. They found he did not have the power to do something like that and to forgive student loans. Like I was saying, it is a loan after all, right? The Carl Greg, good day, mate. Hello, how are you doing? And somebody needed something, they got something, right? And that money is now gone. So somebody wanted education, they wanted a product, the product was education. They paid for the education, the university took the money. Now, you pay that off personally, or I pay that off, the taxpayer, somebody has to pay that off. So when any government says debt forgiveness, in my mind, there is no forgiveness. This is a thing that doesn't go to nowhere, right? Yeah, thanks, Frank Hicks. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate your support. It means a lot. It means a lot. Like, if am I wrong about that? Like, if government says it's forgiven, like, like you are still gonna have to pay that off with your tax dollars. Your kids and your grandkids will have to pay that off, somehow, or some foreign country comes in and pays off our debt, and they own a big piece of our country, right? That's what we're discussing here right now, right? And so, are we still connected on YouTube?
Yep.
Yeah. So, I have opinions about it, but I'm not anti this government. I wish, if I could tell you, I wish I could tell you guys who I voted for, because then, like, my opinions, like, wouldn't be so. You wouldn't hear me maybe in the same light, and some of you might judge me though. So we won't get into that.
But it's good to be critic.
Yeah, like I'm not being like a government critic, and like we're really hesitant to talk about this kind of stuff because this is not what people like want from us or whatever, right? And because you guys like support us a lot, like what we say, like it matters, right? And so I'm not trying to like undercut the government what they do, you know. I'm just like in the same way that like we're trying to like educate people about business. I'm trying to bring my mindset to light, and like I said, rip me apart in the comments, tell me why I'm wrong, right? Because like this is a conversation. That's why I'm trying to do this live, right? This is not something I'm ever going to post about and just make it into like some clickbaity reel for you guys to watch, and then you guys have to consume it, and you guys actually get to talk to me. So Colin, thank you. Yes, great point. So here's why. Is there anything on YouTube?
Yeah. So Ryan, someone has to pay for that one way or another.
Somebody's got to pay for it, and you, sir, and me, sir, we are the taxpayers. And what just happened to the VAT, guys? What happened to the VAT?
It went up.
Yeah, it went up. Why do you think it went up? Right? Because there's a big debt, and now there's an even bigger debt, right? I believe that the tax collect on 2021, 2022 was around 1.6 billion. So 0.6 billion would be about 600 million, right? So basically, like whatever the government made in tax, like you're gonna take away like almost like you're gonna add like a third of that, like another third. So in what we so we increased the VAT, like, so you guys gotta follow along with me. So I'm doing this in my head, and I'm an idiot, right? I say it here, you guys can roast me in the comments. I am the greatest idiot of them all. So
goat.
We went from,
Goat.
Yeah, I'm the goat of all idiots. Yeah. So if what is a 15? What is a 9 to a 15? How much of a percentage of increase is that? What do we got? We
6.
got, so we got from 9.
6%. Raise. 6.
Yeah, 6. It's a 6% increase. But really, like it's gone up. It's gone up by 6%, right? But 6% was like 20-something%. So 6%. How am I doing this math? Right? 6% increase is like a 60% increase overall on the tax, right? And so what we made back last year, roughly was 1.6 billion, right, in taxes. So for us to add another 0.6 billion and then increase the tax another 60%, which is 0.6, right? Like we're just gonna like basically just pay off the tells with the increase in the VAT, right? And like VAT isn't all the tax that we make, but bear with me here, right? Like so there's really like we don't really gain a lot, right?
Sure.
So it's like increase in tax forgive your student loans. Ta-da! We washed. It's a wash, right?
Mm.
And that's what I think. I don't know. That's what I see. Maybe you guys really disagree with me, and I'm an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
But here's why. Like, I think this is my fundamental reasons why I think I disagree with paying off student loans. Okay, so we're basically like we're helping the winners. So I'm not a person. I'm a person who, and this is not my point of view because of this. It's just like this happens to be the situation that we're talking about right now.
Mm.
I went to school, and um, I worked like every night. Like, so I went to school in the day, and then I worked at Red Lobster. For those of you who are in North America, every night to pay my food, pay my rent, and pay for my student fees.
Mm.
And then my parents had like $2,000 or $3,000. Was it $2,000 to $5,000 that they saved for me? Like they put away, and it grew. Like they put away like I think like $1,000 when I was a baby, and then it kind of grew. And then I'm pretty sure though, I spent a lot of that money on my quad bike. If I'm not very so that's why I'm an idiot. That's why I'm not educated. So yeah, there are other countries, like a lot of the Nordic countries. I was just talking about this with Pinkfish today. That there are a lot of like I think Denmark and Sweden, Norway, some of those countries they do offer free tertiary education. But I don't know what the tax levels are in those countries. You might be like over 50% taxed, right? In which case, so like somebody's got to pay for it, right? This money doesn't just like come from nowhere. So it's like, yeah. So we help the winners. So somebody like me who went and put themselves through college and worked every night and worked every weekend and like, studied in the random moments that I had, for me to then be like, oh, all my friends, because like I had a lot of friends who had a lot of money that they got through like scholarships, through them being part like First Nation, whether that was through student loans, who didn't have to do what I did. And you know what they were doing on Friday nights and Saturdays when I was working? They're partying, right? I saw that. I don't know if that happened in Fiji. I could only assume, but it feels like, I had to work hard, and so it feels unfair just from my end because I worked hard, so I didn't have to go on student loan, while other people that I saw who had student loans didn't do the same thing.
Sure.
Because there wasn't the same pressure on them.
Yeah.
So it's like, so going back to what I was saying about we help the winners, right? It's like you already have the degree, you went and you got the education, so you're the person who's in the better spot to get the job, to keep the job, right? Because you got the education. So it's like, then me
And
as
a person who's like
for all the people that paid off their student loans, who now like what do they get their money back? Was
Sure.
they're part of the TELS?
Sure.
For all the people that don't have those student loans and who just work like on the farm,
blue collar jobs.
So we're gonna be paying that back. It just seems like it seems
Unfair.
Like you're already the winner. You got the education. Like the fact that you have a loan is like not my problem because like you got what you wanted. You wanted the education.
Yeah.
And like you wanted a product, you knew how much it cost, and you paid for it. So like we should, I don't know. Isn't that just economics? So yeah, that's my opinion about helping the winners. And like I think I read a report like in the USA, like an person who has like a college degree over their lifetime will make like $1.2 million more than a person who doesn't have any degree or any like formal education, roughly on average. So if you come out of postgraduate school or tertiary education, you generally make more money over your lifetime and like a significant amount more money than you do than somebody who didn't, right?
They also might not even use that degree after they graduate from Maine.
Yeah, and they might not. And like, I mean, you might not use that degree.
Yes, feel sorry for those who paid off their loan. Now the debt is shared to all.
Yeah.
Miranda ni.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the post that the that was on one of the pages. It was like big, like forgive, like 650 or like X through it. It was like thousands of like thank you for doing what you say. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm like, dude, I love the government, um, but like I'm just having an open conversation. Like I don't. Let's just have a conversation,
True.
right?
Yeah.
It's not like they're idiots. They're made into power somehow, right? Like, we voted them in, whether you did or not. Like we did, right? And I don't know. It's government, right? They're not. Oh, you can't please everybody. You can't make everybody happy at the end of the day. So whoever's watching this, like from the government, like I don't expect you to make us happy all the time. You can't make everybody happy, right? I know that, and there's things that I don't know that you guys do know. So yeah, like the increase of the VAT. That's my other opinion. I think I already talked about that. Like I think it's kind of a wash. Like you increase the VAT, and now we're given a bunch of the TEL stuff.
Yeah.
They're kind of like the same thing. And like I think, I mean, this doesn't necessarily work in Fiji, but in other places, like where they talk about like student like debt forgiveness, like once people know that you're going to start forgiving debt, and if that's like a cycle, and it's like, well, the last government did, so maybe the next government will. Then, if people are like way more likely to just go into student debt because there's a really good chance that it might get forgiven, universities are, going to increase their tuition prices.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, which basically just means that like, that just will increase inflation. So my whole point is inflation with this thing, is that like, your dollar just becomes worth less. Because everything costs more. So this move is a bit risky for long-term inflation, in my opinion, because people might be more likely to just go into debt. And because the universities know, hey, people are like really excited to go get educated now because they might get their debt forgiven. Let's just sneak it up a little bit. Then it costs more, which means that they need to take out more money, which means that the dollar is worth less. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because they have to spend more to get the same thing, and that's inflation. At least that's what I think. So how are we going to pay back when no jobs are available? Well, it's not my problem. Right?
Exactly.
So here's the thing. If I have a business that employs 10 people and pays tax to the government, and I go get a delivery vehicle because that will help me make more business. And so I go get a vehicle and I take out a loan. And I can end up not being able to pay back that loan. Is the government going to forgive my loan? Because I was taking out the loan because my loan allows me to employ people who pay taxes, actually, right? Like, it's just not a loan for some product. This is a loan for a product that generates tax dollars, right? And if I end up being in a position where I'm unable to pay off that loan, will the government forgive? So, like, what makes my loan any less worth than a student loan? I'd love to hear an argument against that. Where like a business loan would be less, you know what I mean? When people just like, I know a guy who can barely afford to like run his business, and he's going to get a business license so that he can like take things to the next level, right?
Yeah.
People just assume like, oh, business people have lots of money. But no, there's lots of people who have like sole proprietorships, and they just trade. Their trading name is under their own personal name, and that doesn't mean that they have money, right? But like, the fact that like you went and got education in a field where when you graduated there was no jobs is not the problem of the taxpayer. That is your problem.
It's a you.
Am I wrong?
Yeah. No. Definitely. Definitely. And I'm seeing like, if I was me personally, if I was in their shoes, and you don't have those kind of things, like you don't have a number of jobs for the thing that you graduated for.
Yeah.
I've seen like people who are in overseas, they would hustle and like just try and find other random jobs
Yeah.
just to pay off the debt,
Yeah.
just to pay off the loan.
Yeah.
And some would say, oh no, because I studied this science and there's not a lot of jobs on this one, so I can't pay off my loan. Like,
Not our problem.
Then again, not your problem.
Yeah.
Not our problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like if I get a loan for my vehicle,
Yeah.
that vehicle that I said was going to help me deliver my pizzas across around Vanuatu, and I couldn't pay it off, and I was like, came on here, I was like, guys, like the government should forgive my loan. Like, not the government's problem. That was your investment as a business person. So it's like your education is an investment in yourself, right? So what makes it any different?
A school is a business at the end of the day. Expect raises in tuition costs, and since government will pay,
100%.
expect more
Who's
government
this?
debt. Ryan Reddy.
Ryan, a virtual handshake here. Thank you. Yeah. Who's roasting me on Facebook? So why is it that the majority of Fijians who don't attend university but are busy trying to put food on the table, why do they have to subsidize the minority? Yeah. Kind of. I agree. Yeah, like it's kind of like, I think I saw somebody like scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. So. Okay, I got a story here from somebody. Okay, a couple walks by, I haven't read this all, so forgive me. A couple walks by an Indian sweet shop and the sign in the window reads, "Eat jalebi today. Your grandchildren will pay for it in the future." Intrigued, they walk into the store, confirm the jalebi deal, and order a tray full. This is good, guys. This is good. They order a tray full of jalebi and devour it. No cares here. They may be long gone by the time their grandkids will be required to pay. Hey guys, not up here, okay? No running in the house, right? Okay, go run down there, please. They may be long gone by the time their grandkids will be required to pay. What a deal, right? A few moments later, the shopkeeper gives them a bill and they get stunned. Couple. What's this? You have a deal going on. Shopkeeper, yes, this is the bill of your grandparents. This is how debt forgiveness and free money works. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great story. So, yeah, nobody gets away for free. That increase, yes, but exactly what you're saying about the debt. The new government is acting on paying the debt that has been left by the previous government. Yeah. Totally agree. Like, and something has to be done. But like we discussed last week, I'd rather see more tax generated through creating more opportunities to charge people tax rather than just raising the tax. So you can provide more jobs. You can, stimulate economic growth by like supporting, say, new sectors like the agriculture sector, right? The export sector, which means like, say I'm a guy who wants to set up a processing facility. I mean, I might know somebody who wants to set up a processing facility. Help me set up a processing facility so I can employ people at the processing facility, which processes products that need to be purchased from people who have to plant them. I'm going to have to pay these people for the products. You are going to tax me on my income. You're going to tax me on my exports. And so that is more tax generated, right? So you can create more taxable opportunities, or you can decrease expenses to raise your profit margins. But that doesn't seem to be a real priority for anybody other than a business that needs to be profitable. When it comes to, this is the plague of many governments, the plague of many churches and NGOs, because they don't need to show P&Ls and they don't need profit to stay alive, because they rely on the goodwill of other people to do their work. And so, yeah, I would rather see it go that way. But it is what it is, and I'm an idiot. And should we leave it at that? Any questions? Anything?
Just comments. Totally agree with you. We should be responsible for the things we purchase, and a student loan is no different. Big fish.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah. It was a good conversation with Pink Fish today. Kind of weird seeing her in person. It's like it's always been digital. But
Yeah, I was surprised. Like,
I was like, whoa,
hey, I'm
okay,
Jess. Oh,
yeah,
big fish.
I know, right? I felt like
Yeah.
bro, nowadays education is just a decoration on the wall. I bet that no one is satisfied with the pay that they get at the end of the day for the work that they do. Yeah, yeah. Some richest people have no education also. That is very true. I think it's a gentleman who owns Satish Motormart. He has a lot of businesses around Fiji. Like his Satish Motormart is all over the place, right? But what I was told by my uncle was that he actually started selling. Get this, he would go around like way back in the day selling ice cream to the sugarcane cutting canes. Yeah, like in the sugarcane season, he went around. That's how he made his capital, huh? Well, yeah, cones, selling cones to people like the gains around this area.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, whatever it was, 50 cents or 20 cents or whatever it was, shillings maybe even back then.
Yeah.
And then from there, he upgraded to the market stand, selling beans, everything, built up, and now he has like Satish Motormart. You guys know about that, or you big?
That's a good story, eh?
Yeah, he huge
Inspirational.
business in Fiji. So there's yeah, selling cars, and they in Lambasa they're basically like a bargain box. So the grind is available for those who are willing to indulge in it.
Yeah.
And the grind, unfortunately, is the only thing that is the only thing that we get. There is no handouts. Either you pay for it or your kids pay for it. And so I think the government's trying to do their best because they're handed a big bill, like $10 billion+ of debt from the last one. And so I'm happy. I'm more happy with like there's way more things I'm happy about than things that I'm not happy about. And that's not what we talk about usually, right?
Yeah.
So I'm happy about the discussion that's happening or that happened around. My village cousin is a primary school dropout, but a very wealthy man today. There you go. Yeah, from Ronald.
It's from Ryan. How many people do you know with a business degree have successful businesses? Only successful people in business I know started from the bottom and worked hard.
Yeah, all the people with business degrees that I know work for somebody who owns a business. I don't know anybody with a business degree even virtually. I might know, but I don't know that they have a business degree. But I don't know anybody who has a business degree that has a business. Because I kind of think like if you need to be, I've never really thought about this before, but like if you need to be like taught how to run a business, then you're probably not the entrepreneurial type. Like the people who are like go out and risk it are the people who have dreams and who maybe haven't addressed this notion or this reality, but inside, deep in them, there's this thing that knows that like if I risk big, I might fail big, but if I don't risk big, I will never win big. And so those are for the crazy entrepreneur types, the business world. And going out and getting a business degree can definitely help you with business. There are a lot of things I wish I hope that like one of my kids goes and gets a business degree if they want to like run the company one day, because I guarantee you there's a lot of things that like I could do better if I had
a finance degree
or a finance degree or an economics degree or something like that. I'm sure it would help me in some way. But I wouldn't be in the place that I am right now if I did that.
I would say though that there's pressure to go to uni, college straight from school, and maybe not the space to actually think whether this is something you want to commit to pay and
Right.
what you actually want to do.
Shout out Lavani. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of pressure usually, and usually that pressure comes from parents and family members. I know, like when I lived in Africa back in the day, like it's huge for African families. Like you're really nothing without like money is like education is the highest level of like achievement. Like the more educated you are, the better. And so that works out very, very good for a lot of people. There are a lot of wealthy, educated people out there, but the wealthiest of the wealthy are the people who go out and take risks. So it's not for everybody, because a lot of us lose big time too. spent a lot of time losing in my life.
Mm.
For the bet that I'm gonna win one day, because like I think consistency pays off. Um, we must teach our children to run businesses as well. This thing on my shirt is actually like so hard to like read against because it's like a white background and the writing's white. My son owns. We must teach our children to run businesses as well. We all have resources. My son owns a business in Labasa at the age of 18. Wow! After graduating and is doing well, he had a vision and worked towards it, but he kept on studying. There you go. Like I have people that I've worked with people. I've worked on people's cars who were in university and had businesses, very successful businesses. For that matter. Um,
It's from Ryan.
yeah.
As an Indian, you can be ostracized if you don't pursue higher education.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Like that is a problem. Like the ostracization of family members if they don't do something is definitely an issue because like you belonged to something for a long time, and then if you don't do something, you might not belong anymore. And so, um, yeah, that
Especially, like, I have seen like a lot of Indians like pushing their kids to be doctors because they're great grandfathers and grandfathers and then
right,
them and them.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you had that with your mom and dad.
Like my parents really wanted me to go and like get an education and finish my education, and like I think a lot of that is like just security, like,
Yeah.
and I mean, maybe our parents came from a time and age where like if you had an education, you were guaranteed a good paying job, but like there are so many people, there are so many high skilled, low quality people in the workforce today. So like I'm saying, like are highly educated, low quality people that like it doesn't cut it anymore. You also have to be a great person, and I will choose a great person over an educated person as a business person every day of the week. If you come in with your business degree and you're a dick, and somebody comes for the same position and they have nothing but they want to learn, I'm gonna hire the person who's nice and who wants to learn and who has all the qualities and the traits that I can't teach. Because at the end of the day, I can teach someone how to edit, I can teach someone how to make coffee, I can teach someone how to drive the tractor. But if you're dishonest or you're gonna like steal from me, then like I can't change that. That's a hard issue, right? So like at the end of the day, like education is only worth as much as the person that you actually are. Oh
My God. Fire, boy, fire.
Taki. Oh wait, Tambu.
Oh, taboo. You're a taboo this week, man. But I really wanted to grog. Huh? Oh, he's saying he's. Shh, couldn't contact you.
So,
Yeah, that's what Uncle said.
Oh,
what?
Can drink grog today.
Again, we've been going all this time, no grog, guys. You know, my throat is even dry here, man.
he makes.
Is man, sorry for the man. I kind of finished that and not really like celebrating and thinking about grog.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about. Thank you for bringing this up. Financial intelligence is not taught in schools. It comes from books. Yeah, like let's just start the conversation, guys. Let's like, I'd love to have more of these kinds of talks with your guys' kids. So like, even if you're a parent out there and you would like your kids to be like somewhat like financially educated, like I'm not the person that can necessarily do it all, but like we can find people who can have the conversations, you know? Like I think there's a lot of things that I was not taught in school that really would have helped me, and a lot of things that I did learn in school that have absolutely no use to me at all. Like basically the only chemical formula I know is H2O, which is water.
And one.
Huh?
Molasses.
And one molasses.
Two oxygen.
2 oxygen and 1 molasses. What is your advice for any Fijians who want to move back to Fiji and do the same thing you're doing? Don't wait for the perfect time. Determine what it is that you exactly want to do and make sure like you really fully understand that thing.
In the market?
Yeah, and like the market. Your dollar does go a lot further if you're coming from a Western country. If you're coming here, so you'll probably be okay if you come to a rural setting. And yeah, don't wait for the perfect time, and don't not do it. If you're gonna get to the end of your life and wonder like, what if I would have done that thing? Because like whatever you're doing overseas right now, the fact that you've been there, if you're a citizen, you can always go back and do that thing. So give yourself a timeline to be able to achieve said thing that you want to do. Come here for a season and pursue it. Give it 100%. When people, you know, it bites me when people are like, give it 110%. It's like, well, that's impossible. It's not a mathematical impossibility. It's not a thing. So yeah, it's I'd say go for it. And or reach out to us at advice@walkafarms.com. Maybe we can help you. Maybe. I'm not saying that we can, but we might be able to point you in the right direction. All right, guys. This is a fun talk. Have fun paying taxes. Have fun being good citizens. Be good parents. Children sniffing glue is not the government's fault. It's not the government's issue. For those of you who are not on our previous talk on YouTube, yeah, we had a good discussion about not leaving our kids up to the streets or actually being active parents. One last question here we'll read. My husband is a welder and the company he's working for will be looking for more welders, but employers thinking of getting Filipino welders. We've been looking for more. Okay, we've been looking for long and can't find the right people. What is your view on this? So yeah, so that's another thing that's happening right now is even building some of the buildings in Lambasa. They're bringing in workers from overseas. I think this is the beauty of a free market, right? Is that you are allowed to bring in other people who are just as talented, who will work for less. So you have to bring a lot of value to that company for the dollar that they are paying you. But that's just how it works. Otherwise, you just won't have a job, right? I've been fired from jobs before. I wasn't worth the headache to the owners as much as I was of the revenue that I brought in from my sales, right? I was too much of like a free spirit with ideas and saying things that the owner didn't like, basically, at the end of the day. So you just have to bring more value to the table. So if like you're gonna be out of a job because the company's bringing more people in, like the onus is on like you as an employee to make it impossible for somebody to fire you. That's what it is.
Is that what they're asking though?
Huh?
I think they're asking, is it good or bad for them to bring them into the country?
Oh, is it good or bad for them to bring people into the country? Yeah.
There's so many people leaving.
Eat hatch. Yeah. Thank you for joining. Is it a bad thing for them to do it? Well, here's the thing. Like, if they can't get the skilled labor at the right price, then if they can't get the skilled labor to do the job properly, then that business that your husband works for won't get hired to do the jobs. And then there will be no business because the business isn't getting any money. And if the business has to pay a lot of money to people who aren't doing a good job, then again, the business will get no jobs, which means the business will have no money. In both situations, your husband is out of a job, right? Like,
Is it that, and do you think cheaper labor too?
just for the sake of it. Well, I know a gentleman who's looking at bringing in workers from overseas who also are welders, because he says he just can't find good enough people for the right price.
Right. Okay.
And yeah, like I said, even if it's not like, oh, if we don't do this, we're gonna go out of business. Like, businesses also want to be really, really profitable because like you also don't know when the next COVID thing is coming, right? You don't know, so it's not just like put as much money in our pocket, because like everybody complains about business owners until you're a business owner from 2019 to 2023. And it's like, okay, then be a business owner during that time and see how little you put in your pocket and how much you took out of your pocket to keep your people paid and to keep your business afloat, so that after COVID was over, there was still a business that was around to pay people to go home and pay the rent and their mortgage and the food and the education for their kids. And so it's not just about like businesses making it by and like, oh, they just want to put more money in their pockets. It's like, as it should. You should also want to put more money in your boss's pocket, because if you're the if you're a person who is willing, like there's two types of people really, like either like you're a person who wants to build their own dream, or you're a person who wants to work for a person and help them build their dream, right? That would be either you're an employer or entrepreneur or an employee type of person, right? And so an employee's goal should be to help the boss achieve his goals, because if you're that person and you're the type of person who helps a boss achieve their goals, they're not going to get rid of you because you bring them that value. Even just saying the right things at times helps keep you employed, helps me employ other people, because they might really piss me off, but like I know that, like, you know what, they have all the things that I can't teach, like honesty and integrity and work ethic, so I can live with it. And you know what, they actually are not the entrepreneur type, and they really do want to help me achieve my goals. So I'm in it with them, and like I'll stick it out even though this is tough, you know. So if you're not a person who's going to go and pursue your own goals, then you should align with your boss's goals and help him pursue those, because that's what work is, right? You all have to do it. We all have to go to work, even if you don't want to be there. We all have to do it. I think the best way to do that is to, for the 8 hours a day, align with your boss's goals. And if you don't respect your boss and you don't think that you can work for him or her, then go find a new job where you can at least like get behind somebody and be like, yeah, I want to help you achieve your goals. Set? All right, everybody. Thank you guys for joining. We'll catch you guys at on Monday. This was On the Mat. We'll catch you on Monday at 4:30. We appreciate you all. Thank you so much for joining. And very, very few of you on Facebook will make this to the end. If you did, thank you very much. I'm sure I'm just going to get roasted for everything I said up until now, but get taken out of context, but that is okay. Ita, message me on advice@wakafarms.com, and we can chat a bit more if I have time. Thank you guys so much. We'll catch you next week, Monday at 4:30.